At least 30 hours of classroom time, 6 hours of on-road driving combined with 4 hours of observed driving and a driver test. Driver education may seem like a brief moment in many of our lives, but for a teenage student, passing these classes are the first step they must take to get their driver's license. Like much of the country, Upper Michigan is seeing a dwindling number of driver ed instructors, making some parents question where their kids will learn to drive. TV6's Vinny Livia is in studio to explain the reason behind the shortage. Vinny.
Thank you, Grace. And there seems to be two main problems based on my conversations with instructors: high startup costs and retiring instructors. In part one of this TV6 Investigates, I show you the hurdles it takes to become a driver ed instructor and why it can be such a challenge for parents to find someone to teach their kids. A lack of state funding, forcing driver ed instructors to pay out of pocket to start their own driving school.
The expense of starting a driving school can be outrageous.
Couple that with a lack of instructors.
People are retiring. I mean, that's been a big factor here.
These are the two biggest issues many UP driver ed schools are facing. Robin Bordner owns Michigan Traffic Safety, where she trains driver ed instructors across the state to teach their own classes. Before they can get certified to teach, Bordner says the state of Michigan requires driver ed instructors to take 3 different college-level training courses, each spread over 3 consecutive weekends.
And then the student teaching has to be at least another 3 weeks or more after they get done with the core classes.
That makes 4 classes total, spread across at least 12 weeks. Bordner says all this coursework stops many instructors in the UP from even starting the process of getting certified, something that is evident in Bordner's newest training course in Gogebic County. What's the size of your class currently?
Well, we ended up with 3. We planned a couple from Bessemer, Wakefield, and then a couple from Ironwood, and the 2 candidates from Ironwood didn't come through.
Ishpeming Public Schools is one of many districts here in Upper Michigan struggling with a lack of instructors. Superintendent Carrie Myers says current instructor Erling Langness here at Ishpeming High School is set to retire after nearly 30 years of teaching future drivers. She adds, there is no replacement in sight.
I don't foresee us filling the position. I have been talking with our principal about sending out notices to families to start preparing in other ways to prepare for driver's education. They may need to go to a contracted company. I know that there's a couple of them at Marquette.
For Abbey Road Driving School in Menominee County, Office Manager Macy Berzini-Kienitz says the biggest issue is not a lack of instructors. It's the high operating costs. She explains the last time Abbey Road serviced the tires, suspension, and brakes on its student driver car, it cost close to $24,000.
Car insurance, gas, your bonding, all those things really add up as the time goes on throughout the year. And there's always requirements from the state for fingerprinting and background checks that we have to go through.
Combine this with the cost of a school office building, books, which Berzini-Kienitz says are up to $5 per student, and more, it can become overwhelming. While costs are high now, Robin Bordner says from 1956 to 1999, driver ed schools did receive some state funding from driver license fees.
When you and I got a driver's license, legislatively, there was a $3-4 fee that went into the driver ed fund.
This ended when the state legislature decided to privatize driver education in 1999, leaving schools to front the cost themselves. Some schools like Abbey Road are still able to operate despite these high costs. Others can't even get started. Bordner says the startup costs are the highest as they slowly decrease over time. As for the instructors, Bordner says she is always willing to train them so they can teach the next generation of drivers. In part 2 of this series, I will sit down with one woman who is starting driver ed school right here in Marquette County and how she is working to overcome those high startup costs to fill the driver ed need. That's tomorrow on your TV6 Early News right here at 6/5 Central. Grace?
High startup costs with no financial support from the state and retiring driver ed instructors combined with a lack of new ones to take their place. We first told you yesterday about these struggles UP driver ed schools are facing. And today, TV6's Vinny Livia is in studio to introduce us to the woman starting her own driver ed school in Marquette County. Vinny?
Thank you, Grace. Her name is Mary Moe, and alongside her business partner, they're trying to fill the need for driver ed instructors here in Marquette County. In part 2 of this TV6 Investigates, Moe explains to me how many students she is teaching that were previously stuck on a waiting list and what it took for she and her partner to start their school. Mary Moe lives in Marquette. She is a newly certified Michigan driver ed instructor, co-founder and co-owner of 46 North Driving School. Moe says besides her driver ed school, there are only 3 others in Marquette County.
There is Kevin Bouchard, 906 Drive is here, and they are from Escanaba, but they have a teacher here. And then there's us and Negaunee High School. So there's thousands of kids in Marquette County that need driving lessons.
To get 46 North up and running, Moe and her business partner traveled from Upper Michigan to Traverse City every weekend for 9 weeks, from September to November last year. During that time, they trained to become state-certified instructors.
And we spent 5 hours in a car and 24 hours together for about 3 days straight. So we really got to test our partnership, but it worked out.
Moe and her business partner submitted an application to the state to start a certified driver ed school in January.
That process was very lengthy. It took about 9 months to get everything approved.
Moe says for many, the time commitment is not possible, stopping many people from getting certified.
And you just really have to have a lot of patience and a good deal of passion to get to the finish line.
46 North runs its office right here in Marquette on West Fair Avenue, and they've been open for just about a month now. Now, normally startup costs are very expensive, but luckily for Mary Moe, she was able to secure a startup loan from Northern Initiatives, a community development financial institution right here in Marquette.
We were able to pay for our textbooks and things like that, and our car. But that's still money that we have to pay back.
With everything up and running, Moe says she immediately filled up her first class of 22 students in August and has added even more students to a waiting list for future classes.
We had people just through word of mouth reaching out to both of us for the last several months to do we have a wait list? Can you sign us up?
Moe says she and her business partner are still new to driver ed. As a result, 46 North lowered its September and November driver ed classes to 18 students. Moe explains that she wants to expand its number of students and classes in the future.
I would like to be able to do a Seg 1 every 8 weeks, I think. And then as we get more comfortable, we'll be able to increase our student load as well.
If you're interested in signing your children up with 46 North Driving School or any other driving school in Upper Michigan, we have a list of resources on this story at uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. With time, Moe hopes 46 North can fill the ever-growing need for driver ed instructors here in the UP. But with the high startup costs and time commitment, she's unsure when that need for instructors will ever be fully met. Grace?